This is On Point with Miss Britt, and I'm bringing you this week's sports updates. So I am not about to do a recap for the NBA. We're just going to talk about what's been in the news, spill some tea, and keep it pushing. And to be honest, like, y'all, I'm really getting sick of the NBA and the refs. Like, they don't let them play. They be calling dumb stuff. Like, for instance, they called a tech on Jason Tatum when he clapped his hands. Like, I'm just over it, y'all. Like, it's just hard for me to watch these games, so I ain't doing no recaps. I'll just come every week and spill the tea and the news and the updates and all that. Anyway, so let's jump into the first business. The stomp heard around the world. Draymond Green stomping on Sabonis. Now, listen, if you break it down, as Sabonis was going to the floor, he did wrap his arm around Draymond's leg so it could prevent him from going on that fast break. And, Draymond saw it as an opportunity. Like, I got to get my leg up out of this, so why not stomp on his chest? And Draymond was suspended for Game 3, and they had Sabonis listed as questionable, but he ended up playing. And Golden State took Game 3. Curry went off, so the Kings are up 2-1. So we'll see what happens the next game. But whenever Draymond do something, they gonna be on it. Like, they gonna suspend him, they gonna fine him, they gonna do whatever. So last night, I'm gonna fast forward to last night, the Sixers versus the Nets. Child. First of all, Embiid, he had kicked Nick Claxton in the nuts after Claxton stepped over him, which was disrespectful. And everybody was going off like, now if Draymond would have did that, it would have been over. Because they really did overlook that, though. Like, he really kicked him in the nuts. And then later on, James Harden, he just, seemingly shoved Royce O'Neal. And they called him for a flagrant 2 and he got ejected. Listen, this is what I'm not understanding. Like, they give techs for clapping, they were giving flagrants for a little shove. But Embiid kicked somebody in the nuts. They're like, okay, you can stay in the game. Which one is it? Like, I'm so confused. Like, y'all gotta be straight across the board. Like, how do you know who can do what? Like, it's just too much. That's why it's getting annoying even watching, because these calls are so up and down and need to be straight. Like, which one is it? Anyways, the Sixers ended up winning that game, so they lead the series 3-0 against Brooklyn. Then Kawhi Leonard, he was out for the Clippers for a right knee sprain, and Phoenix ended up defeating the Clippers 129-124, and Phoenix now leads the series 2-1. It's been a lot of injuries. It's been a lot of them. Giannis is out. Tyler Hero is out. It's a lot of injuries to even be naming. I don't know what's going on. Ja is out. And speaking of Ja and the Memphis Grizzlies, so Dylan Brooks had a lot to say in the media about LeBron James calling him old, but that's not why the Lakers lost. LeBron had 28 points. D'Angelo Russell, he only had 5. AD only had 13. Nobody else was trying to show up. So LeBron didn't even have no help. That's why they lost the last game, and now the series is tied. Because nobody's stepping up. He was the only one doing something. So I really hope he drops a bomb on him tonight. Go for 40 tonight. Just shove it in their face. Put him back in his place. You ain't even got to say nothing to the media. Just put him back in his place. Okay? Anyways, moving on from the NBA playoffs. So tonight I know that the Lakers and the Grizzlies play. And there's a few other games, child. I'm going to try to catch them all. I'm going to try. Moving on. So that's the T for the NBA. Moving on. So now what I'm really looking forward to watching is Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. This fight's been talked about for some months now, so I am so happy that it's finally here. And I know y'all love Tank so much, but I wouldn't sleep on Ryan. I would not sleep on him. He's the one that's got a lot to prove. So we'll see what happens, and you will be hearing my commentary when I come back next week. And don't really have nothing. I'm not going to say who I'm going for. I'm just going to enjoy the fight. But don't sleep on Ryan. Don't sleep on him. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so just in case y'all missed, the WNBA draft was like a week ago. I'm so late. I was supposed to talk about it last week, but I needed to take a break from sports because that dang on NCAA tournament just drained me. So I needed a whole week off. So anyways, just in case you missed the WNBA draft, the number 1 overall pick, Aaliyah Boston, was selected by the Indiana Fever. And so was Ohio State's Taylor Maxwell. She was also selected by the Indiana Fever at number 13. Number 2 pick was Diamond Miller out of Maryland. She got selected by the Minnesota Lynx. Number 3, Maddie Siegrist, the all-time leading scorer at Villanova. She was selected by the Dallas Wings. Number 4, Stephanie Soares was selected by Washington Mystics. Number 5, Lou Lopez-Sinicho. She was selected by Dallas Wings. And then number 6, Haley Jones from Stanford was selected by the Atlanta Dream. And then my South Carolina girls, Dawn Staley's crew, they had the most players that were selected in the draft. So they had, other than Aaliyah Boston, which was the number 1 pick, they had Letitia Amir. She was number 8 pick out of the Atlanta Dream. And I know I messed up her last name, my bad. She was number 8 selected by the Atlanta Dream. And then my girl Zaya Cook from Toledo, Ohio. She was selected at number 10 to the LA Sparks. And then Bria Bill, she was selected number 24 for Minnesota Lynx. So shout out to South Carolina. They breed ballers. They coming out of there. And then also another shout out that was selected at number 9 was Jordan Horston. And she was a former player of Afrocentric High School in Columbus, Ohio. And she was selected by the Seattle Storm, and she also played for Tennessee. And then national champion Alexis Morris from LSU, she was selected number 22 by the Connecticut Sun. And then Monica Cesano from Iowa, she was drafted by the LA Sparks. So it was a good draft. Actually, they said it was the highest viewed WNBA draft ever. So women's sports is coming along. So I know next year that draft class about to be, woo! That draft class going to be bad next year. So wait till next year. You thought this year was good. Next year is going to be great. And I can't wait for their season to start because it's going to be a real good season. All right. So in NFL news, child, poor Lions fans, they can't even catch a break. They crying right now. And the season ain't even started. So we got breaking news. The NFL has suspended the following players for betting. Former Alabama wide receiver, he is now a Lions wide receiver. Jameson Williams is suspended for 6 games. Also, Lions wide receiver Stanley Berryhill is suspended for 6 games. Former Lions safety DJ Moore and wide receiver Quintus Cephas, they both are suspended indefinitely. So it's basically a Calvin Ridley situation. They can reapply to be reinstated next year. But it's a wrap for them for being on the Lions right now. All right, and then Commanders defensive end Shaka Toney is suspended also indefinitely. So my thoughts and prayers go out to Detroit Lion fans. It's always something with them, man. They can't never catch a break. Woo. Like last year, they were so close to making the playoffs and slipped right out of their hands. All right, so I do want to give a special shout out to, even though I can't stand this team, the fan base, none of that, but I like to see a young brother getting that paper. So I'm going to shout out Jalen Hurts. Him and the Eagles came to an agreement. He is now the highest paid NFL player in history. He got that 5-year extension for $255 million. And shout out to his agent, Nicole Lynn. She is the president of football operations at Clutch Sports Group. And if you ever heard of Clutch Sports Group, my man's Rich Paul runs that deal. So I would not expect nothing less. Shout out to her for making that happen, and shout out to Jalen for getting that money that he deserved. And that's all the updates that I have this week. So we'll see next week what happens. I know it's going to be some controversy next week in my videos, depending on the outcomes of certain things this weekend. But what y'all can do is follow my Instagram on_pointsports614, as well as YouTube. And make sure you like and subscribe. And I'm out.